The name St. Vincent is a reference to a Nick Cave song where he says, and Dylan Thomas died drunk at St. Vincent's Hospital. And I was like, oh, sounds about right. Surgeon. Surgeon is a song I wrote that references Marilyn Monroe's diary. In it, she was talking about Lee Strasberg, her acting coach. She wrote, "Best finest surgeon, Lee Strasberg, come cut me open." And I was like, wow, that's great. The solo at the end is not a guitar. It's a synth played by my friend Bobby Sparks. And he just like ripped that solo, and then live, I learned the solo and I would play a variation of it every night. Cruel. During the making of the Cruel music video, I was buried up to here in dirt, and then there were these massive walls that were covered in dirt and trees and all this stuff. But I had to be on a pulley and a lever system, so there were these giant walls of mud and trees, like 3-sided box. And then another piece here that was also covered in dirt and all that, and then it had a little cutout for where my head would go. But at the end of the shoot, the special effects makeup girl asked if she could take the walls home. I was like, whoa. I'm so curious to know what she did with those walls. I think they smelled like cow manure. New York. The song New York I took the inspiration from when I was just walking around my East Village neighborhood. You know, you live so much life in New York, and you live so much like life in like these very small blocks and these like kind of routes that you take every day. I was thinking those things, and I was thinking about a friend who had moved out of New York and had moved away, and I just texted him like, New York isn't New York without you. And then I was like, I'll squirrel that away for a song, and that was the kind of genesis of it. You grow so much when you think about who you've been in this tiny amount of space. It's sweet. You're living with the ghosts of yourself and of all your heroes. Smoking section. Real pop banger, that one. I started writing Smoking Section on a ferry from Sweden to Poland. Now, who goes from Sweden to Poland, do you think? Not people vacationing, I can assure you that much. It was all like truckers, like kind of burly Polish truckers on this cruise. I was kind of walking around, I saw, oh, they have a spa. Great, I could use a massage. And so I go in, and it was clearly like not like a traditional massage parlor. I think that it was more like for the truckers, you know what I'm saying? I came in completely oblivious, and this woman just proceeded to like look at me kind of confoundedly and then pinch me for about 30 minutes, just like this, kind of like okay, this is a very bizarre experience. So I was like, well, I guess I'm gonna go hide in my room and avoid the sort of like leering of increasingly drunk truckers. So I started writing those lyrics, which are deeply sad. Los Angeles. They call Las Vegas like lost wages, I think. Or maybe they just do it in a Steely Dan song, but Los Angeles looked right to me. And felt like it captured a certain aspect of this city. The Peter Pan quality, I think, that like a lot of people who live here have, and certainly like a fear of getting older, a fear of decay. For that song, for me, I was always just picturing like a wave that kept building and building and building and just never broke. And like the kind of people, like salty kind of characters you meet, the person who never wrote that memoir, but wants to tell you all about it. Just broken dreams and decay. But it's a love song. My aunt and uncle are a jazz duo called Tuck and Patty. They're wonderful. And I had them come down to my studio and just play around for a few days. And I had my aunt singing on the "How could anybody have you?" She does a great line there, and my uncle's just kind of riffing all over it. It's very cool.
She grew up in a very musical family?
No. I mean, my sisters like to sing, and we would like go on car trips, and my mom and my sisters and I would all sing and harmonize, but nobody like did it past kind of casual or choir in school. I learned all kinds of things, technical and esoteric. They played me John Coltrane's Love Supreme for the first time. I mean, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if they hadn't truly showed me how and kicked my ass, frankly. Pills.
Pills to sleep, pills every day of the week.
Cara is singing the pills line. She's singing the pills to wake, pills to sleep. Yeah, I needed like a very posh British voice. I tried my friend Kate, who's Welsh, and that was really nice, but a little too serious. And then Cara ended up singing it, and it was great. It doesn't remind me of the real Slim Shady, but I love that song, and I love the kind of Willy Wonka land aspect of it. And it's nice to kind of have this like nursery rhyme feeling, and on top of it, you're saying some like really dark shit, like I need help, you know. I was kind of like definitely going back to old Eminem when I was thinking about that song. Mm-hmm.
It was like working with sound.
He's great. He's such a great dude. Yeah, we've done a couple things. He kind of came over before they had finished Kendrick's Damn, and I was just like, you know, playing a bunch of guitar riffs, and we were just kind of vibing and seeing if anything was interesting. And then I heard Humble.
Wicked and weakness.
And I was like, I got so excited, and I thought, maybe that's my guitar. And I texted him, and he was like, no, sorry, that was our tech, Brian. I was like, damn it. I was so close. Hang on Me. Hang on Me was a song that on Mass Seduction, I kind of couldn't figure out what sonic space it was supposed to live in. There was something that felt anthemic about the like that it could be a big like rock kind of song, but it just never, like, I tried to kind of cram it in that space, and it just was like, nah, no, sorry. So that one ended up being small and intimate on Mass Seduction, and then same with on the piano album. Everything on the piano album just gets like 45% sadder. I spent so long working on the songs for Mass Seduction, and I just wanted to get to live in them in a way that had nothing to do with my guitar, had nothing to do with production or anything, and just like sing them and play them live. It was a way of like closing the chapter for me on Mass Seduction, was kind of solidifying them in this really sweet and small way. Happy birthday, Johnny.
Is it 23?
There's like a Johnny trilogy at this point, because there's a Marry Me John on my first record, and then there's a Prince Johnny on the St. Vincent self-titled one, and then there's Happy Birthday, Johnny on this one. The song is, you know, I think everybody has like that person. They simultaneously like just completely fill you with joy, and then also completely break your heart in so many ways. And that's the Johnny character for me. He's like lovable, troubled, like lost soul. Savior. Please. That I wrote when I was 16. I was listening to a lot of, I would like listen to Billie Holiday, and I had a little karaoke kind of machine, and I would just practice her licks and her runs. That melody was kind of born of trying to follow along to Billie. The song had tension and it needed release, and I was like, oh yeah, what about Please from, you know, X number of years ago, and it just fit perfectly into the narrative and was the release that the verses and freeze needed. Slow disco. The first version of slow disco was the kind of pretty string version that's on the Mass Seduction record. And then I recorded the soft, pretty version on the piano record. Oddly enough, it was Taylor Swift who works with Jack Antonoff all the time and said, like, Jack, please, you guys got to make a pop version of that song. So we did. And because I always felt like that song, it could just wear a lot of different suits and still be solid. So we did 3 versions of it. Very postmodern. Look out, Kanye.
Do you have any song that you've written, or any particular song that stands out to you as your favorite?
I'm really proud of the color palette on this song called The Bed. It was not a top 10 hit. I can assure you. It's probably one of the darkest in my catalog, but I'm really proud of the composition. It's really pastel and pretty. I think that was the most Debussy I ever went. Not comparing myself to Debussy, I mean just some of the colors are very similar. I start anywhere I can. Sometimes it's a lyric, song like Happy Birthday Johnny was just a short story pretty much. It didn't have a melody at first. And other songs come from really technical ways, converting a bunch of MIDI notes and tweaking them and then running them through synths and then, kind of going what would Skinny Puppy do? Or, it's there's a lot of ways to get into a song. And then sometimes it's melodies. I guess I sing in my sleep, and so I'll wake up with melodies in my head and just record them really quickly and then go back through, and they just suggest words and you just kind of put it all together. Really, you're just looking for a thread.